Not 5, not 10, but up to $20,000 off a new Toyota Hiace. Choose your Toyota Hiace model, choose your financial institution, and save up to $20,000. Roll out reliable, fresh, and in style with free licensing, registration, and tinting. It's a bus bonanza with up to $20,000 off. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
Good morning, radio listeners, and you are tuned into Inside the News here on WINNFM 98.9. I'm your host for this morning, Kevon Brown. And on Inside the News, we try and talk about the hottest things that were going on throughout the news week. And today, the topic on the minds of people is the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival, our 50th anniversary. And the protocols that were recently introduced for in-person events. Welcome set of good news for all of our party goers, for all of our carnival lovers, for all of the people who are very appreciative of carnival activities for our 50th celebration. And in studio with me this morning to talk about all things carnival is the chair of the Carnival Committee, Shannon Hawley. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. Now, what is going on for tonight? Is tonight going to be the first in-person event?
Yes, so tonight we have our second Calypso Tent, a series that we're hosting, which started last weekend, which was virtual 100%. And then tonight we are inviting a live audience for the tent series. And you would recall that last year we also had a very small live audience. This year we have the opportunity to increase our numbers in terms of attendees who will be present with us this evening. So we're looking forward to tonight's tent. We know that the Calypsonians feed off the energy of the audience, and we are looking forward to another amazing tent tonight.
Absolutely. And how many Calypsonians are performing tonight?
We have 13 Calypsonians performing tonight. We have a warm-up that starts from 7:30 with DJ Tero. And then, of course, all of this will also be virtual. So you don't need to actually be at the venue if you don't want to. We're giving you the opportunity to log on from the comfort of your home anywhere in the world and view the tent streamed live, free. That is being produced by the National Carnival Committee.
Nice. And tickets for tonight started sale on Thursday, was
Yes,
it?
so tickets started sale on Thursday. Tickets are $20 at the National Carnival office. So we're open today until 4 p.m. There'll be no ticket sales at the entrance or at the gates. So should you want to experience a little bit of our a taste of our Calypso tonight, we're encouraging you to go to the Carnival office on Keon Street, purchase your ticket before 4 p.m. so that you can come and join us at Carnival Village tonight in a safe zone environment.
And for those who are very interested in knowing, what's the capacity for tonight?
Well, the tents usually, as you are aware, have a much smaller audience because tents are usually held around the island in different bars, etc. But the capacity of the venue, based on the directives of the task force, we were given a 75% capacity of the venue, which we hope to fill to capacity, the 75% capacity for our larger shows as the season progresses. So we have a 75% capacity. We've seen that venue in past years host in excess of 2,000 people. However, we're going to be moderate and limited, and we're going to have a full house based on the safety protocols, of course, for our events, our larger events.
Right. So please get your tickets, ladies and gentlemen, to support our 13 Calypsonians as they relish the return of a live audience this year for the 50th anniversary. And the 10th series continues to next weekend, the 27th, for the third night.
Yes, so the 27th would be the final night, and we expect to have Calypsonians continue to practice. So we expect to have new Calypsonians. We do have some Calypsonians who sang last week singing again, plus we have some additions. Next week, the same thing. We expect to have some new Calypsonians performing next Saturday, which is the 27th, which would be the last of that 10th series being hosted by the National Carnival Committee.
Right. So tonight is kind of a dry run, let's say, for the new protocols that were released this week. How is that going?
Well, you would let me just backtrack.
Yeah.
There have been no new protocols released as it relates to entertainment.
Right.
So let's just be very clear on that. The protocols that were released regards to National Carnival events. So I mean, of course, we welcome that. And yeah, it is a dry run. We expect to have just a small audience. And we expect the audience to build up as the season progresses. And we are putting everything in place to ensure that our patrons, our technical crew, our vendors, our entertainers, Calypsonians, band members are safe. And that is most important at this point for us.
Right. And later down, I think it was either Thursday or Friday, I think there was a comment about Calypsonians who might not be vaccinated and not being allowed to participate in the Carnival series. Is there any truth to that statement?
Well, based on the directions that we were given by the National Task Force, the protocols that are currently in place are for vaccinated individuals only, and this is across the board. Any individual entering the Carnival Village for any live event that National Carnival will be hosting must be vaccinated. And that is what we have to work with. Those are the directions that we've been given. And unfortunately, there's nothing that the National Carnival Committee can do to alter that directive by the National COVID Task Force. It's going to be enforced. So unfortunately, some of the Calypsonians will not be able to sing tonight because of that policy that has been put in place by the National Emergency Task Force.
Understood. That is unfortunate. However, I guess based on what we were being, I guess, what's the word I want to use, teased earlier in the year, people should have had enough time if they really wanted to participate in Carnival to get vaccinated. Because I think there was some maybe unconfirmed beliefs that Carnival activities would have been basically for vaccinated individuals.
Well, the National Carnival Committee, let me just put on record, Carnival is about unification. And it's, our first aim, first and foremost, was to try to ensure that everybody who is accustomed to participating in Carnival could participate. Earlier this year, back in March, I think it was, we started a campaign, Get Vaccinated Quickly, to turn up Sugar Mass 50. Because from then, we had started discussions and we realized how the world was operating, and we wanted to encourage individuals at that time to take into consideration getting the vaccine, because, we realized that the situation was fluid and we did not know what the final rules are, if we were even going to be able to host National Carnival live events. So we began that campaign. We had several meetings with our stakeholders back in summer, encouraging individuals. We had the task force, we had the CMO come and speak, we had nurses on 2 occasions come with vaccines should anyone want to be vaccinated at any of our stakeholder meetings. And we just generally encouraged individuals to get vaccinated because we knew that it was a possibility that this could be, this could happen. We, back in September, early September, we started discussions and negotiations with the COVID-19 task force on protocols. We presented our proposal. In our proposal, it did not necessarily speak to having vaccinated individuals only. We had hoped that we would be in a position to have individuals tested who were not vaccinated to be able to attend events. Unfortunately, we were advised recently that at this point, it is not a possibility. So we have to go with what was advised. And that is what we're going with. It does not stop Carnival from happening. We just have to do, we just have to adjust. Right. The world is adjusting around us, and we have to adjust as well.
Well, you just answered one of the other questions that came to mind when the calendar came out for the live events. Would there be testing requirements prior to, similar to what happened in Miami Carnival, where persons who wanted to participate would get a test, I think 72 hours before, or something like that?
Yes.
So that's not a part of the stipulation right now?
No, we were advised that it was literally no compromise at this point in time. Because of the fluid situation, we were advised that individuals partaking in any of our carnival activities must be vaccinated.
All right. Okay, so after the 10th series, what's coming up next?
So we have a number of activities over the next 6 weeks, and we really, really are encouraging the general public to support either in person or virtual log on to those in St. Kitts regionally and internationally. So we have next Sunday, we also have the National Queen Pageant Runway Challenge, which is on the 28th. And that initially was going to be a virtual event completely. However, we made a decision to also open the gates for that event and have a live audience. It's the first time we're having such an event. And it's an opportunity for individuals to actually come out and see the National Carnival Queens live in person within their runway challenge, and also support local designers whose designs the Carnival Queen contestants will be wearing, as well as past Carnival Queens. So it's a evening event. It starts at 5. We don't anticipate that it will run too late in the evening. So we're encouraging individuals to come out and have some fun with us in a intimate environment at Carnival Village for the runway series next Sunday at 5 p.m.
And are tickets already available?
Tickets will be available for that on Monday at the Carnival office. They'll also be available online to pre-purchase, and we will be making that public. We'll be making the ticket sales public on Monday.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is this event in any way like
Rip the runway?
Rip the runway? But no, will it affect the girls'
Final score?
Final score.
No. So there will be a winner who will be announced. We have judges, and there will be a winner who will be announced. And I'm not sure whether the subcommittee will announce the winner on that night or on the night of the actual pageant. I'm assuming it will be announced. The winner of that runway challenge will be announced at the night of the pageant. However, it is just an opportunity, like they have Miss Amity, etc. It's just an opportunity for the girls to get accustomed to the stage and there to be a winner. But the points from that show, the runway challenge, will not go towards their final points on the night of the competition, which is on the 29th of December.
That's a bit later than we're accustomed to, isn't it?
No. It's usually our intention this year really was to bring up all of our pageants to early December. But because, again, this is a hybrid of our usual carnival, and there are not as many activities on the carnival calendar as previous years, we decided to keep the National Carnival, the shows, on or about the same times that they would have been hosted in previous years.
Okay. And The Sugar Scope competition and the Creative Arts competition. What's going on?
So
with
right
those two?
now we have two competitions running. The Sugar Scope Creative Arts and also the FaceTime Makeup Artist Challenge, which are all running right now. And we're encouraging individuals to take part. It's an opportunity for you to do what you love and make some money doing it.
Also, it's
And
still open.
the Sugar Scope and the Creative Arts competition closed on Friday. And the FaceTime Makeup Artist Challenge, it continues and it closes on the 22nd, I think, of this month.
Okay.
But, encouraging people to take, it's, makeup artists, creatives is actually doing something you love and getting some change while doing it. So we're encouraging you. And of course, we know that these are challenging times and, we're just opening up opportunities for creatives to make some money and be appreciated while doing something that they truly love to do.
All right. And when will those be announced? The winners of those competitions be announced?
The winners will be announced early December of the competitions that are running now. The Creative Arts competition, the Sugar Scope, and the FaceTime Makeup Artist competition will be announced early December before the start of Carnival. The opening of Carnival is actually on the 3rd of December, and we're busy hustling in the background, trying to top what we did last year because we know a year later, people are still talking about the amazing opening of Carnival we did in 2020. And we're trying to do that for 2021. So we're right now behind the scenes. There's so much going on that people don't realize. Behind the scenes over the past few months, working hard, feverishly to top what we did last year for the opening of Carnival. And that will be, the opening of Carnival will be open to the general public. It will be a free event.
Nice.
It's on the 3rd. Of course, you will have to come with your vaccination cards and your ID at the gate. It's just an additional step to ensure that individuals who come into our venue for National Carnival are vaccinated. So we are encouraging everyone to come out to our opening on the 3rd. And then thereafter, from the 3rd, it's non-stop mass for the rest of the month.
Well, before you go into any details, because I'm hoping that you could give a little sneak peek of what's happening on the opening. But before we go into any further details, I'm gonna break for a word from our sponsors, TDC and Cara Brewery. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with the chair of the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee, Shannon Hawley.
People make the world go
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Gift for Dad's birthday? Click. Ooh, Janice's retirement party? Click. Outfit for my girl's wedding? Click.
With TDC Airbox, you click, we ship. Register for your free US mailbox today and shop all your favorite stores online. Enjoy the convenience, free consolidation up to £10, competitive rates, free package tracking account with live notifications, free delivery, and of course, excellent customer service. Visit our website at tdcairbox.com and register today. For more information, visit our offices at the C.A. Paul Industrial Site in St. Kitts and Penny's Industrial Site in Nevis. Follow us on social media at TDC Airbox. TDC Airbox. You click, we ship. Terms and conditions apply.
People make the world go
Welcome back to Inside the News here on WINNFM 98.9. I am your host for this Saturday, November 20th, Kevon Brown, and I am joined in studio with Chair of the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee, Shannon Hawley, and we are talking all things carnival. So just before the break, Shannon, we were talking about the opening. So can you give a little sneak peek as to what's planned for it? One or two performances maybe.
Well, the opening, all I can say about the opening of Carnival on the 3rd is that it will take you down memory lane. Simple. It's not only about what is happening, or popular for National Carnival today in 2021, but it will take you down memory lane to 1971 and before. So that is all I can say about the opening. It is being planned. It will be executed in grand style, as we have been doing over the past year for National Carnival activities under my chairwomanship. And we are going to it's going to be an amazing experience. So again, it's going to be free, and the details will be released shortly as to how individuals can enter. But of course, it will be streamed live as well to a local, regional, international audience.
So we're paying homage to the last 50 years of Carnival. Lovely.
Yes. And we also have this year one of our events, actually our last event on the Carnival calendar, is the SMAs, the Sugar Mass Awards. And those Sugar Mass Awards, again, are celebrating cross-section of individuals who have contributed to St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival over the past 50 years and prior to that, leading up to National Carnival. So we are also doing that this year as a part of our 50th anniversary celebration, celebrating the individuals and thanking the individuals who have made National Carnival what it is today.
Nice. So what's after the opening?
So then we have, of course, the Soca Monarch is back this year. The rebirth of Soca Monarch we have this year. And we have over 30 artists who have registered and who have submitted. Yesterday was the deadline for the submission of their music. And we have over 30 artists who have registered and submitted their music for the power and groovy segments of the Soca Monarch. So on the 3rd, we have the opening. Then on the 4th and 5th of December, we're going to have a listening party, a virtual listening party of all the songs to eliminate the final 8 for each segment of the Soca Monarch competition. So that is going to be virtual. Individuals will be able to log in. We will have judges. They'll be able to log in and listen to all of the submissions live on the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th. On the Carnival calendar, it would have we would just have noted that the 4th would have been the eliminations for the Soca Monarch, but we did not anticipate the number of registrants for this competition. So we have to do it over a 2-day period. So we're going to be doing that over a 2-day period. And then, of course, we have the Soca Monarch, which will take place later down in September. And that is going to be an amazing event. The National Carnival Committee realizes the importance of Soca Monarch. It is such a huge competition in all of the other islands. And this year, we're really going all out to support the artists, specifically and especially in the finals, the artists who make it to the finals, in terms of upping their performance fee, the preparation fee to get them ready, to get that quality performance, dancers, fireworks, pyrotechnics, to ensure that the show is a fantastic show and that their music can go on regionally and internationally. And that is the importance of Soca Monarch and the making of that Soca Monarch artist or winner that we want to really push this year. So that's what we will be doing for Soca Monarch. Then there is In the Spirit of Christmas, which is from the 6th to 9th of December, and that is hosted by the Ministry of Culture, and that will take place at the Antioch Baptist Church. Then, of course, we move into that following weekend, which is the Calypso Monarch, Senior Calypso Monarch, eliminations.
Oh.
And that will be before a live audience as well. And then, of course, 8 finalists, 7 plus the reigning queen, Queenie G, will go up against Queenie G on the 30th of December for the finals. Again, that's a live show. And we have another big weekend with Panorama. And Panorama, we are just working out the dynamics because Panorama is the PAN groups are made up of a lot of young children. And of course, a lot of young children are not vaccinated.
Right.
And we don't want the opportunity for the youngsters who are unable to get vaccinated under the age of 12 to miss out on the opportunity to not participate. So we're working on the dynamics of Panorama and how it will take place on the 19th for sure, as it on the 18th as it is on the calendar. But the dynamics, we're just figuring it out now that we have policies to follow and protocols to follow. So then, of course, it moves into that Power Week where we have the swimwear competition, which will take place this year in the Marriott Dome. And, you know, we've been asked questions, why the Marriott Dome for the pageants? So out of the 15 plus events that we're doing, we're hosting 2 at the Marriott Dome simply because we want to bring back that real elegant vibe to the pageants. We want to ensure that individuals are able to dress elegantly, come to the venue, covered venue. There are no other covered venues in St. Kitts, unfortunately, that large enough to hold an audience. So we want individuals to really, really dress up elegantly and come to the Dome where they're able to be seated comfortably without having to worry about getting wet and enjoy the show. And for the girls as well, for us to be able to have an enclosed venue for the girls to prepare on the night of the show. We've been hearing from the pageant committee how difficult it is for them to prepare for the show in outdoor venues. So we're doing something a little different this year, and because we have that limited audience, we will be hosting. We know that once tickets go on sale for that show, those 2 pageants especially, they'll be sold out immediately because of the hype surrounding the pageants. Right. And people are really, really looking forward to the girls. The girls are special. You know, the girls, brilliant young ladies who are entering both pageants this year. You know, they've been doing so much to prepare themselves for the shows, and we really want the general public to come out who can and support them, and who can't to support them virtually by logging on and watching the show. We anticipate that those 2 shows will most likely be the biggest shows in addition to Soca Monarch and the Calypso finals for the season.
Well, I know from the reveal, after their reveal, there was just so much hype, so much support, so much like it felt good to see people excited about the Queen Show because we didn't have it last year.
Yes.
So it felt good to have that camaraderie, that camaraderie, people talking about who they're backing, etc.
And the girls are really, you know, have gotten really close. The girls every week, every day in and out, have activities. Every weekend do activities together. We had a fun day last Sunday with all of the girls competing against each other at Vibes. We had karaoke at also at Barry's. We also had Family Feud last weekend at Vibes again, being hosted by Sen Consulting and Mr. Noah Mills, the previous chair. I just want to thank him for all his efforts and all his work that he's been doing with the girls as well. And then, of course, this weekend, the swimwear contestants are on an info motorcade for plastic-free St. Kitts. The girls will have a spa day, a joint spa day tomorrow at Beauty Inside Out. Every single weekend, their weekends are packed, in addition to every day of practicing, training sessions. So, you know, we really want you to encourage and support the girls. They're doing a lot. You know, it's not easy being an ambassador, a pageant contestant in St. Kitts and Nevis. You know, the general public is very critical when it comes to the audience. And, you know, we just want to encourage you to support these young ladies. They really, really are putting in their all for you and for themselves as well, but to put on this amazing show that we have planned later on in the month. And tickets will go on sale for those shows, all the shows, in fact, at the beginning of December.
Lovely, lovely. And then we move on. Icons. Let's
Yes.
talk about the icons.
Well, before we talk about icons, I want to talk about, let me talk about icons because I want to really, people, when we released the calendar, we had the full general communication conversation on social media was about Bubble Juve.
Yeah.
So I'll get to Bubble Juve, but Icons again was a new event that we started last year. And this year we have it as a road match edition where we will not only feature the bands as we did last year, predominantly the bands, but we will also feature a number of artists, road match artists, individuals who would have run road match over the past 50 years. And if we're not featuring the artists live, we will have performers singing their songs. So that is going to be exciting because people don't know, who won the road match in 1971 upwards. So they only know most recently when where the bands have predominantly won road match over the past 15 years. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to have a show where we could cater to a cross section of older individuals as well as the young people, where we will feature the majority of the winners over the past 50 years or their music over the past 50 years. So we're really looking forward to that Icons event. It was a great event last year. The bands did a great job. And, we're looking forward to it this year. And it's going to be before a live audience as well. Icons will be before a live audience as well as a virtual audience. And then, of course, there's Bubble Juve. But before I get into Bubble Juve, I want to say that the event calendar that was released is made up of Carnival, National Carnival, St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee core events.
Right.
It does not include any fringe activities or supporting events on the calendar that would be put on by private event promoters, simply for a number of reasons. One, we had to release a calendar because, we've been in negotiations with the task force. People have been asking, is there a carnival? What is going on? So we had to release a calendar of core activities, which is what we did. However, we anticipate and we hope, and fingers are crossed, that, the event industry, the entertainment industry will open shortly with protocols, we know, of course, but we hope that the event and entertainment industry will open shortly and that fringe event promoters are able to host their activities in collaboration with National Carnival, because we know that there is no carnival in the world that is made up of events hosted by the Carnival Committee only. We think of other carnivals, we think typically of events that are hosted by private event promoters. We want to go to Miami Carnival, we want to go to Trinidad Carnival. It's the events that are hosted by private event promoters are the events that are most supported. So we hope that for this year, we are able to include events that the National Carnival Committee supports, private events that the National Carnival Committee supports and has supported over the past years on our carnival calendar.
I know you put out a call for proposals from the fringe.
We put out a call for proposals. We got a number of proposals. A number of proposals that we received were from the traditional, typical event promoters that you would see, who you would see host events over the National Carnival period. You had individuals, if I may call their names, you had individuals who host, brunches, top off brunch. We had, of course, cane juice. Cane juice is Cooler Fete is the biggest thing in this region. We've had Chatterbox who have submitted proposals to us. We have had individuals who do brunch, additional brunches, night events, who all have submitted proposals to us to host events during this period, and who have all submitted proposals taking into consideration the current COVID-19 environment, and have all included in their proposals to host events and to commit to host events under whatever protocols are released for hosting of events. I think personally, and this is my personal opinion, I'm not speaking for anybody, including the Carnival Committee, that is about time for us to open our events. I think that, we have some really, we have event promoters who do this as a business. It is not just fun and frolic. They actually do it as a business. And I think that once they work closely in collaboration with the task force and the police, that, all T's could be crossed and I's could be dotted, and they could host events in a safe environment. And I would hope that the task force could take into consideration events. I know that the Minister of Entertainment is working diligently in getting events back up and running. So I know she's under a lot of pressure to do that, to get that done. And I know it has to be in the realm of what is going on in St. Kitts and Nevis as it relates to COVID-19.
Right.
So I am looking for, I said all of that to say that we are looking forward to a supporting calendar that we can release with fringe events that are supported and promoted by the National Carnival Committee and could fall under our national carnival events generally, because we can't do it alone. And we look every year for support from these event promoters, and we really hope that shortly we are in a position to have these events before the task force and the police force, so that we could get some direction on what is next relating to fringe events that surround Carnival.
Right. I know one fringe event I'm kind of crossing my fingers for and hoping for is some iteration of Glow Parade. I absolutely love that
how
event.
could I forget that? Yes, so Glow Parade has been, Brandon has been in discussion with us from 2021 January about his Glow Parade. I mean, that is, again, that Glow Parade starts Carnival, typically. It's in the week, it's done early up, and it is an event that a lot of people look forward to. And we hope that the Glow Parade, we know we're running out of time, and we know event promoters are a bit frustrated as it relates to the direction. They don't know what to do. Planning is not an overnight process.
Right.
And we hope that could be taken into consideration by the powers that be when approving events under the regulations, that it is not an overnight. And what we don't want is that event promoters do something overnight. We don't want a knock-up event. We want to make sure that event promoters plan, have every safety protocol in place to be able to host an event successfully in the environment that we are in. So we hope that's all we can do. We have the number, as I said, we have a number of private events who have event promoters who have submitted event proposals to the Carnival Committee, and we in turn will forward these onto the powers that be once they have been reviewed and stamped and said, look, these are events that we would hope that can be hosted safely under the protocols.
Nice. Now, before we jump into Bubble Juve, we're going to take another break to hear from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with Shannon Hawley.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Hello?
Jean, you know every time I call you, it's always about something good.
What going on?
Well, the TDC retail stores in St. Kitts and Nevis are at it again. Their new stocks have arrived.
Really?
Yes, new furniture, printers, toys, appliances, electronics, housewares, even decorations, and so much more. New is in.
So, girl Betty, when we going?
You know me, I don't miss a beat when it comes to TDC. I'm getting ready to go to TDC Automotive and the Home and Building Depot now. And next week, we're definitely going over to CDS Nevis to see what they have over there too.
Betty, me am here. Betty, you gone?
People make the world go
And welcome back to Inside the News here on WINNFM 98.9. I'm your host, Kevon Brown, and I'm joined with Shannon Hawley, chair of the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee. And just before the break, we were going to jump into talking about Bubble Juve, the most questioned event, the most talked about event, the most, I think, anticipated, one of the most anticipated events on the calendar.
And because of that, we have to be extremely careful about how it's executed. Because we know that we're traditionally known, St. Kitts and Nevis is traditionally known, St. Kitts is traditionally known for its Juve. And, you know, in past years, before the street parade was so popular, Juve basically was the beginning and the end of Carnival for a lot of people, for a lot of young people especially. So we have to ensure that we were granted permission to host a Bubble Juve in an environment that is safe, that can be controlled, and that can accommodate a 75% capacity of that venue. Taking into consideration what goes on during Juve, typically taking into consideration that individuals have not had an opportunity to, release in a while, we have to take all of that into consideration in our planning of this Bubble Juve. The intention is to host the Juve in a enclosed area. We're looking at different venues such as the Connery playing field, which is large enough to host quite a number of people. And of course, we're going to have this event also virtual and carry it live. So because we will not be able to accommodate everybody who would want to come to that Juve. Last year we had a Bubble Juve last year at Carnival Village with the number of bands and entertainers and DJs. The intention is to do exactly that this year and add a little more to the venue, to the style of appearances, etc. on that Juve morning, typical Juve morning. We're also looking at, and we met this week with the Juve troupe promoters who would have put out Juve troupes in the past. We met with them to do a brainstorming exercise to see how they could also be involved in Bubble Juve, because Bubble Juve does not necessarily mean, in my opinion, just one event. We are hoping that once event protocols are released, that should event promoters such as Juve Troupe, organizers want to host an event and can show that they can host an event in a safe, enclosed, controlled environment, that they could also create that Bubble Juve. But our Bubble Juve that is listed on our Carnival calendar is specifically being hosted by the National Carnival Committee. And it will be spectacular. And don't ask me how it's going to be done, because I don't know.
That was my next question.
But it's going to be done. It is going to be done. We're looking at different options. We're looking at the option of having the bands move in movement, as you would see in a typical Juve, as you'd see in other islands, doing, whether it's Caesar's Army, etc., doing a moving sort of experience within a controlled environment. So we're looking at a number of options, whether the bands will be moving, whether the bands will be stationary, we have a main stage, whether the bands will be set out all around the venues at different points so people can move from one to the next. Take it into consideration. It's not easy when you have to take into consideration safety protocols, because what the Carnival Committee does not want is that there to be any outbreak of any type of COVID and attributed to National Carnival. That is what we are not. That is what we are running from. And people have their views and ideas, etc., about opening up, but at the end of the day, the individuals who are going to cuss us now for the protocols, they're going to be the same individuals who will cuss us then about being a super spreader, and we don't want to be labeled as such being a national event. And we don't want that to happen again. We saw that it took the past 6 months, nearly almost, to get this current wave under control, and we do not want our healthcare to be overwhelmed. We have to take into consideration our healthcare workers who have been working over the past nearly 2 years nonstop, tirelessly, to ensure that individuals are treated and kept safe. We don't want that. So we are going to ensure and try as hard as possible to ensure that whatever we are doing as the National Carnival Committee or any supportive event of the National Carnival Committee is hosted in a safe environment without the opportunity for there to be any sort of super spreader possibility.
And I can understand why Bubble Juve is such a ticklish situation, because people want fit.
Yeah.
In the traditional way, people want fit. And I think the tricky part is finding the balance between allowing people to truly enjoy themselves while maintaining safety and working with the people involved, the COVID-19 task force, the Carnival Committee,
the bands, the DJs, the entertainers, because we still have, and our biggest challenge, if you have to ask me right now, is getting entertainers, folklore troops, calypsonians, traditional stakeholders who would participate, who make Carnival, getting these individuals on our stage for Carnival, because of the fact that so many individuals in the entertainment industry are not vaccinated. And it's the biggest challenge. We cannot even find a full folklore troupe that is vaccinated. We cannot find a full hosts. We can't. It is really, really difficult for us at this point in time. It is literally causing sleepless nights because we cannot find individual troops or groups who can be a part of National Carnival who are fully vaccinated. And, we really want to encourage individuals. All we can do is encourage. The world over, this is where the world is moving to. And we just want to encourage individuals. You still have time to get vaccinated should you wish to get vaccinated. Because, again, I don't think there's any compromise as it relates to whether or not you would be able to be included in National Carnival events based on our discussions with the COVID task force if you're not vaccinated. And it really is the biggest challenge for us right now, from our opening to our icons to our everything, is trying to get as many individuals as possible perform. National Carnival is not about politics. It's about, unification. It's not about, who is not vaccinated and who is. But unfortunately, that is the crux of the situation right now, is that we have been directed and we now have to try to create something special with some of the most experienced entertainers and creatives who cannot participate because of their vaccination status, and that is unfortunate.
All right. And as you talk about the challenges you're facing with getting folklore troops specifically getting vaccinated, what does that mean for the folklore caravan?
The folklore caravan is actually where individual folklore troops are able to go around the island and perform in pockets around the island. So for that, it is not necessary, because it's not an event. It's not a mass event. Right? They go around the island and they perform in pockets. So the folklore caravan is not the issue. The issue is for our events that have a live audience that are considered by the National COVID Task Force as mass events, like our opening. Last year, our opening had a wide cross-section of folklore troops from the bull actors, we had masquerades, makajambis, who took part in our opening. And these are the individuals who make carnival, right? This is our culture. This is our history. And it is unfortunate that right now, the tremendous difficulty in finding even one, other than probably the masqueraders that went to Dubai recently or who are in Dubai and we know to travel, they would have had to get vaccinated, to get troops who are vaccinated, from dance groups, folklore troops, entertainers, calypsonians, a cross-section of our stakeholders for National Carnival are not vaccinated.
Right, and I think the entertainment industry is one of the loudest that's been crying out for allowing their events to restart. And I think it's been clear that for entertainment to restart, the stakeholders have to be vaccinated.
Yeah, I think the CMO has made it clear, the task force has made it clear over the past several months, encouraging individuals to go out and get vaccinated. Some people just cannot get vaccinated because of health, religious reasons. But some individuals for other reasons, they have made it clear. And I think that is why the situation has arose as it is today, where there is, for them, no compromise relating to vaccination for our National Carnival events, especially as it is these are mass events that we are hosting.
Right. So even if the entertainment industry is reopened and restarted with new protocols, the protocols will kind of like separate a good cross-section of those stakeholders because they're not vaccinated. So they'll still be crying out about not being able to, make a living.
Well, I'm assuming that the protocols that will be released, I'm just assuming that based on my discussions and based on what has been advised for Carnival, I'm assuming that the same will be advised for the entertainment sector at this point. So it will be difficult. It's going to be difficult. We want as many individuals to be employed for National Carnival as possible because we understand the trickle-down effect of National Carnival. It's not just about fun and frolic. It's about the trickle-down effect and who is, affected by National Carnival, from vendors, makeup artists, hairdressers, clothing stores, rentals, people flying in. This is what we want our National Carnival to be known as. We want it to be like the largest economic entertainment driver in St. Kitts and Nevis. We have music festival in every summer. Music festival is on a 3-day basis. You understand? National Carnival is over a period of 6 weeks. So in terms of the economic impact and the extent of stakeholders that are affected by National Carnival is way more. And money that actually stays in St. Kitts is way more than what you would typically see for St. Kitts Music Festival. And we just want that support. We want that support from a cross-section. And, the government has supported us in terms of, being the most significant supporter financially for National Carnival. This year, the budget for National Carnival was $2.1 million, and that is in the COVID environment. And we want to see, of course, only a portion of that will be given to us by the Ministry of Finance. But nevertheless, it is significant, and that we want to see trickle down to Carnival stakeholders. The Carnival Committee is not a paid committee. We're doing this voluntarily, just to be very clear, because many people see it as an opportunity as the committee is being paid, and no committee member this is all voluntary from the chairperson right down to the other committee members is all a voluntary process, voluntary committee, specifically as it has been over the past 2 years since I have become chair. So we just want that support, we're looking for that support from the general public.
Right. And as you talk about being an economic driver over the years, over my 30 years of existence, I know that the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival has been one of the biggest like bleed overs because of tourism, because of the economy. The amount of people in the diaspora or people who just love the Caribbean who want to come to St. Kitts Carnival. It's in the middle of winter, or just about the start of winter, where the States are getting cold, the UK is getting cold, and people want to, move and dance and participate in something that allows them to get away from the cold. And I think reigniting that will help to reignite tourism a little bit. Stay-overs, that bleed-out effect in the economy will be tremendous. So I'm looking forward to the 50th anniversary.
Well, for me, what is most important, and when people ask me, what you want to leave, and my legacy would be, I want to see our National Carnival recognized as, the best small island carnival in the region. We have not, even though we are 50 years in existence, we have not broken into the international and regional scene of top carnivals for a number of reasons. And we realized pre-COVID, we were getting there with the help of the carnival troops, etc., and all of the stakeholders who have supported Carnival, who are encouraging, individuals. You have individuals flying in. You would have had the Carnival troops in the past few years do a lot to promote St. Kitts on the international scene. And we were seeing that pre-COVID. So what we want to see is once we're in a position, hopefully 2022, we want to collaborate, because it's only a matter, it's not about competing with our stakeholders. It's a matter of collaborating and ensuring that everybody's on the same page. Everybody wants the best, not for them, but for the country, but the best for our National Carnival product, and essentially the best for St. Kitts and Nevis. So we want to be able to collaborate with our stakeholders in a bigger way to promote our National Carnival for 2022, and God willing, COVID, we will learn that we will learn to coexist with COVID, because clearly at this point it's still challenging.
Yep.
However, we hope that by 2022, as the year progresses, we will learn and understand how it is to live with COVID and coexist with COVID and be able to host a full carnival come 2022.
Lovely. That sounds amazing. We are just under the 12 o'clock hour, where we're going to break for the midday news. But before we do that, Shannon, is there any last words you want to say to this listening audience?
I just want to encourage anyone who is listening to support National Carnival. It's our 50th year. It's a big deal for us, our Golden Jubilee, and we want to encourage you to support in whatever way you can. It may not necessarily mean that you are able to attend a show, but, just simply logging on. Tonight, we have our 10th series continuing. It will be available live for you to stream on social media, on ZIZ, on SKN Carnival. It will also be on ZIZ TV and our Facebook pages. So we're encouraging you, if you can't be there in person, please log on, enjoy, support, have some fun listening to Sweet Calypso for National Carnival 2021. Yes.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for joining us this morning on Inside the News to talk all things Carnival and get people excited and ready for this wonderful, extravagant, beautiful 50th anniversary.
Thank you
of
so
the St.
much.
Kitts
Thank you for
National.
having me.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
We're going to take a break for our midday news, and then we'll be right back with the afternoon hour of Inside the News. Stay tuned.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs, and make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
With the WIN headline news, I am Kevon Brown. Making the headlines, police make arrest related to double murder in Nevis. Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Philip Davis, urges cruise lines to do more in relation to their contribution to climate change. A Trinidadian mother of 4 murdered in a manner relatives describe as torture and more in a Caribbean Crime Watch report from the Virgin Islands Consortium. Internationally, Kyle Rittenhouse, the American teenager who shot and killed 2 people during protests against racial injustice in Wisconsin last year, was found not guilty of murder and all other charges on November 19th. Now, the details. On October 22nd, 2 young men on Nevis, 21-year-old Shaheem Farrell of Church Ground and 23-year-old Xavier Howell of Morning Star were murdered. After 10 p.m. that Friday, the 2 were ambushed by masked gunmen on Penny's Beach outside a popular restaurant and shot. A release from the St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force reported that 3 unnamed individuals are currently in custody, assisting with investigations into the fatal shooting incident that claimed the lives of the 2 young men. Divisional Commander for District C, Superintendent James Sutton, is calling on the people of the Federation to assist the police with their investigations, saying that the police would like to encourage members of the public to support them by giving information. Anyone with information about this incident or others can contact the Charlestown Police Station by dialing 469-5391, the nearest police station, or the crime hotline at 707. In regional news, a Trinidadian mother of 4 murdered in a manner relatives describe as torture and more in a Caribbean Crime Watch report from the Virgin Islands Consortium.
In this week's Crime Watch from the VIC Regional News Desk, A Trinidadian mother of 4 was found dead in a river with injuries pointing to a heinous attack. 33-year-old Rihanna Jagannath was last seen by relatives making her way to a mini-mart near her home. 3 days later, police were in the early stages of a missing persons investigation when her body was found floating in the Guyamere River in Caroni. A subsequent autopsy found that she eventually died from manual strangulation and drowning, but not before her neck had been broken and stomach slashed open, leading to beliefs that she may have been tortured in her final moments. Relatives believe Jagannath may have met her horrific end at the hands of someone she knew, as she was never fond of interacting with strangers. However, they do not appear to know the identities of the 2 men reportedly seen walking with Jagannath on the day of her disappearance. Her family and the police urge anyone with information that could help the investigation to come forward. Elsewhere in Trinidad, police are making headway in investigations into a double homicide which devastated a New Grant family earlier this month. The 32-year-old man was arrested this week during a joint police exercise in Mayaro. The suspect had managed to elude capture since November 7th, when police started searching for him in connection with the deaths of Antero McQueen and Monica Jagroup. The suspect is accused of attacking several family members as a result of a land dispute. When the violent rampage ended, 2 were dead and 2 more were nursing chop wounds to the face and body, with 1 suffering a severed appendage. When police managed to track him down, the suspect was found in possession of what police believe to be the weapon used during the attack, as well as several other items of evidentiary value. He remains in custody pending charges. Another family dispute, this time in St. Lucia, led to the murder of a man at the hands of his twin brother in the city of Castries. Details surrounding the nature of the argument are still unclear, but passers-by at the time reported seeing 31-year-old Chad Shalmine at the side of the road engaged in a heated argument with his sibling. Moments later, he'd been stabbed. The fratricidal man is now in custody awaiting charges relating to the incident. Meanwhile, in Jamaica, even as a state of emergency is in effect in several parishes, including Westmoreland, gunmen have continued their reign of terror. Most notably, this week, a man was killed in Savannah Lamar while attending a peace management initiative intended to address family and gender-based violence and to teach better conflict management. The victim was approached by a gunman during a lunch break from the training session while still on the premises of the resource center where the activity was being held. Police have not yet been able to determine a motive for the attack and have not yet released the identity of the victim. Investigations are ongoing. And in Barbados this week, a court has sentenced Andre Jackman, Karian Moore, and Shane Babb to 25 years imprisonment each for a 2018 shootout in the parish of St. Lucie. The 3 men were found guilty earlier this year of possessing illegal firearms and unlawfully and recklessly engaging in behavior that threatened the lives of several people and left 2 in danger of death or serious bodily harm. Additionally, Moore and Babb were found guilty of damaging property during the 2018 incident.
Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Philip Davis, urges cruise lines to do more in relation to their contribution to climate change. Eyewitness News has that report.
Well, in other news tonight, Prime Minister Philip Davis yesterday urging cruise lines to be more environmentally friendly and to adhere to the strict rules on pollution. Davis making those comments during a groundbreaking ceremony for MSC's new conservation center on Ocean Key yesterday. The center, which is expected to open next year, will focus on restoring and protecting the country's coral reefs. And while Davis said that the center will go a long way in assisting the country with its environmental agenda, he also said that more must also be done.
Damage and degradation in the ways that we navigate shipping lanes, for example. And as you drive this venture forward to what will hopefully be a very successful future, I encourage you to also keep other causes in sight. So, for example, how you navigate the shipping lanes, how we observe strict adherence to regulations concerning waste and pollution. And we can do whatever we possibly can to avoid damaging the seabed and those prized coral reefs every time we lay an anchor in our beautiful aquamarine waters. Let us see conservation as acts of prevention, not just as efforts to mitigate and repair once the damage has been done.
Well, in response, the Chief Operating Officer of MSC's cruise, Ken Muscat, says the cruise line is committed to improving the country's natural resources and continuing to be environmentally friendly.
Not only do you see it in things like we talked about today in Ocean Key with the Conservation Center and what we're doing with supercoral and research and the marine life, but also the way that we operate these ships and becoming net zero carbon impact by 2050, doing things with LED lighting and the fuel consumption and the paint that we use on the ships to be more fuel efficient. So everything possible from an environmental and a marine perspective to be friendly to the waters as the cruise industry continues to grow is very, very important. Our ships are becoming LNG, shorter ship power, so you don't have to run the engines when we're docked. So all of those kinds of things make a big difference in the industry.
We now bring you these international reports.
An American teenager who shot dead 2 people during protests against racial injustice in Wisconsin last year has been found not guilty of murder in a trial that polarized opinion in the United States. Kyle Rittenhouse argued that he had feared for his life and acted in self-defense. Prosecutors said he had behaved like an armed vigilante. Well, the case has provoked a heated debate about gun ownership. Our correspondent Nomia Iqbal reports now from the city of Kenosha.
The defendant will rise and face the jury and hearken to its verdicts.
A dangerous vigilante or someone acting in self-defense. After 26 hours, the jury decided Kyle Rittenhouse's fate.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
The 12 men and women of the jury accepted the teenager's claim he killed out of fear for his safety.
Somehow, some way, those 12 jurors found that he was innocent.
Outside court, the political divisions this case has caused were clear.
If you attack me, I have the right to defend myself. That's what Kyle was on trial for, and that's what Kyle is now found acquitted of. Okay, so you're telling me if 2 guys come up to you and accost you, you can't defend yourself? That's what was on trial today.
There is no way in a law and a land of law where a person can shoot 3 people, kill 2 of them, and be acquitted. There's just no way.
The shooting happened against the backdrop of nationwide protests over racism and police brutality following the murder of George Floyd. In Kenosha, another black man named Jacob Blake had been shot by police 7 times, and on the 3rd night of riots, Kyle Rittenhouse entered the city. He said he came to provide security.
Somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. That's why I have my rifle, because I can protect myself, obviously.
In a series of confrontations, he shot dead Joseph Rosenbaum, who had chased after him into this car park. He then killed another man who ran after Rittenhouse, thinking he was an active shooter. A 3rd man survived. Police later arrested the teenager and charged him with murder.
3 people right there.
At his trial, there were tears, challenges.
When you point the gun at someone else, that's going to make them feel like they're about to die, right? That's what you wanted him to feel.
No. So why?
Shouting by the judge.
That was before the
Don't get brazen with me.
And a controversial defense by his team in regards to the shooting of Jacob Blake.
Other people in this community have shot somebody 7 times, and it's been found to be okay. And my client did it 4 times in 3/4 of a second to protect his life from Mr. Rosenbaum. I'm sorry, but that's what happened.
This case has become a big flashpoint on gun rights. Some see Kyle Rittenhouse as a hero. For others, he's a reckless teenager and a symbol of a gun culture out of control.
Well, Nomia is in Kenosha live for us. And Nomia, this is a case that's been gripping America, really. What's been the reaction to this verdict?
Well, the reaction has been division. This case has pulled together some of the most explosive issues in America: the right to bear arms, protests, racial injustice. There are civil rights protesters outside the courthouse who have said that if Kyle Rittenhouse had been a black teenager and had shot at 3 white people, the police would have behaved very differently that night. And the National Guard is on standby just in case there is any violence. President Biden has reacted. He has said that the verdict will leave many Americans feeling very angry and concerned, including himself, but he has urged people to respect the verdict. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse has reacted. He has said he is remorseful and wants to get on with his life. But for others, it may not be so easy. The family of one of the men shot dead that night have said that this not guilty verdict sends a dangerous message that any armed civilian can show up in any town and justify shooting people. So this political divide that we know exists in America on gun control and gun ownership has tonight got even deeper.
Normia, thank you very much indeed.
Many people watching Eastern Europe at the moment are asking one question. Is Russia going to invade Ukraine?
The answer is I don't know. I think we have to be on our guard, and I think we have to make sure that deterrence prevails.
The UK's most senior military officer doesn't know, but what everyone does know is that tension is rising. The EU and Russia are blaming each other for the migrant crisis in Belarus. There's a build-up of Russian troops near the border with Ukraine, and the US is watching.
We do continue to see unusual military activity and concentration of forces in Russia, but near Ukrainian borders, and that remains concerning to us.
Vladimir Putin calls all of this alarmist, but we know more broadly he does want to test the West. And to understand how and why he's doing that, well, Ukraine is the place to start. It used to be part of the Soviet Union, and even after independence, it remained an ally of Russia's. But the relationship frayed, and in 2014, Russia annexed Crimea and made a military incursion into eastern Ukraine in support of separatists. Putin knew this would bring condemnation, but he had his reasons. One of them we see in this article in July. He wrote, "I said that Russians and Ukrainians were one people, a single whole, and maintaining historic connections is one motivator. Security is another." This map is from the defence alliance NATO. It shows many of its members marked in light blue, and you can see how close they are to Russia. Ukraine isn't in NATO, but it is a military ally, and all of this is too close for comfort for Putin. And the US sees his actions on the Ukrainian border connecting with the migrant crisis in Belarus that we're watching play out.
This story is a very human drama, but the backdrop, that's geopolitics.
There's the BBC's Steve Rosenberg in Belarus this week. This country was also once part of the Soviet Union, but unlike Ukraine, it remains an ally of Russia. Next door to Belarus is Poland. It's an EU member, and the European Union is accusing Belarus of encouraging migrants to use it as a route into the EU. Belarus denies this, but thousands have come, and in desperate conditions are trying to get into Poland. And for the Polish Prime Minister, this is all about Russia.
This attack, which Lukashenko is conducting, has its mastermind in Moscow. The mastermind is President Putin.
Now, others disagree with that, saying this is simply Belarus taking revenge for EU sanctions. And whether Russia is the mastermind or not, we can certainly say it's involved. Vladimir Putin spoken to Angela Merkel on the phone twice about it. Perhaps mischievously, he's offering to mediate, which some say is the position he wants, that of power broker. And if that's one explanation for Putin's approach, Lithuania's president goes further.
It is totally clear what the Lukashenko regime and their allies are seeking, to test the unity of the West.
Russia wouldn't agree with that, but it does have a track record of testing the West. And in the UK, some see another test coming.
Is this going to be the moment where we are going to defend Ukraine's sovereignty, or are we going to step back and allow Russia to advance once again, as it did in Crimea, as it did in Georgia as well?
The current situation is being closely scrutinised, and this isn't just about military might. To understand Putin's plans, we need to think about energy too. This is the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. It runs from Russia to Western Europe, but it's not switched on yet. In fact, That's just been delayed by Germany. But here it is, going through the Baltic Sea. And when it's on, it'll increase Europe's reliance on Russian gas and reduce the volume of gas delivered via Ukraine. The UK believes that's a security concern. So does Ukraine.
If Nord Stream 2 is launched and the status of Ukraine as a transit country is not guaranteed, then Ukraine becomes more vulnerable in terms of its security and more vulnerable to potential Russian aggressive actions.
As we're hearing, most issues in this part of Europe have a security dimension. And if NATO's unimpressed with Russia's actions, the feeling's mutual.
We need to consider that Western partners worsen the situation. They deliver modern, lethal weapons to Kiev and have provocative exercises in the Black Sea and other regions close to our borders.
Putin sees a serious challenge in the West's military proximity. In part, he views his actions as defensive. And if that helps us understand what he's doing, so does this from April.
I hope no one will cross Russia's red line, but in each case we are the ones who will decide where the red line is.
Here we see the more aggressive dimension to Putin's approach. He asserts that Russia will set the rules and enforce them. And this all connects to the broader goal of Putin's leadership, to establish Russia as a global force. To do that, Putin wants to test the limits of Western power. What we don't know is what he wants to happen next.
You were listening to the WINNFM headline news on 98.9. Our top stories were: police make arrest related to double murder in Nevis. Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Philip Davis, urges cruise lines to do more in relation to their contribution to climate change. A Trinidadian mother of 4 murdered in a manner relatives describe as torture, and more in a Caribbean Crime Watch report from the Virgin Islands Consortium. Internationally, Kyle Rittenhouse, the American teenager who shot and killed 2 people during protests against racial injustice in Wisconsin last year, was found not guilty of murder and all other charges on November 19th. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Caribou.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs. And make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
People make the world go
Enjoy the convenience of getting all your documents in one place. At the TDC Copy and Print Center on 4th Street in Basse-Terre, we do just that. We offer document formatting, graphic design, and copy and print services. Our team of professionals truly understand all your needs, whether it be administrative, professional, academic, or personal. You bring it, we deliver it with quality every time. Visit the TDC Copy and Print Center today in the TDC Mall on 4th Street in Basse-Terre or call 465-2511. Your copy and print specialists are waiting to serve you.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
Good afternoon, radio listeners, and welcome back to Inside the News for the second hour here on WINNFM 98.9. Today is Saturday, November 20th. Happy Saturday to you all, and thank you so much for tuning in and listening.
People make the world go
Before we broke for the midday news, we had the chair of the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee, Shannon Hawley, on, and we were talking all things carnival, all things Sugar Mass 50, as tonight will be the first live audience event for the season, the night 2 of the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank Senior Calypso series. And then going forward, there will be more in-person events as the in-person protocols were released, made public earlier in the week. I noticed while we were having a conversation, the phone lines were ringing, and I welcome anyone to call back in if they wish to share their opinion on what was discussed earlier in the first hour. But it seems that the preparations for Carnival are steadily underway, very much steadily underway. Shannon did mention that they are having some challenges. One of the challenges being getting certain people in the entertainment industries, calypsonians, artists, folklore troops, members of folklore troops vaccinated, or so that they can participate in Sugar Mass 50, specifically for the larger events, so that everybody could have a chance to welcome back in person, like some good in-person events for Carnival, for Sugar Mass 50 years. It's a big deal. 50 years of Carnival, and it seems that they are, throughout the Carnival celebrations, they are going to be paying homage to those 50 years through the opening. Shannon said that they're taking a trip down memory lane. The second iteration of the Icons event that had its initial start last year, they're going to be paying homage to road match champions over the last 50 years, some, not all, possibly. And then the Sugar Mass 50 Awards at the close of the Carnival season. Also, we discussed the Carnival Committee is receiving proposals from fringe events. Now that's kind of on a time crunch because we are now past the middle of November. So December is just around the corner, and December is when a lot of those events happen. I know some of them happen later down in the month. I think Inception normally happens at the end of December, but Glow Parade is normally earlier in the middle of December. Cooler Fete is normally around the 21st, 22nd, somewhere around there. So kind of on a crunch time to get those events approved and start marketing them and start getting tickets and start getting situation in order for it to be a safe and for them to be safe and fruitful events. But we look out for some good news in that regard. The numbers to call in, the phone lines are open. The numbers to call in are 466 0989, 762 0989, and 662 0989. So we can hear your thoughts on the upcoming events for Carnival, how you feel. How are you feeling about the Bubble Juve concept? How are you feeling about the return of the National Carnival Queen pageant as well as the swimwear pageant? Shannon mentioned that the venue that they're looking for those two events is the Marriott Dome. Just get your general thoughts on the matter. Now, in other news this week, we had an update on the tourism sector. The Minister of Tourism, Transport and Ports, the Honorable Lindsey Grant, he held a press conference yesterday, Friday, where he gave an update on the tourism sector, about the increase in calls and the amount of passengers that were disembarking and going on their different bubble excursions around the island. I think he said in November some 23,000 passengers came off the ship. And for the period, I think from July to November, it was 27,000 passengers in total that came off the ship. But apart from that, earlier in the week on Wednesday, there was a video circulating of taxi drivers at Port Zante. I think Wednesday was the day that there were 3 ships in port, which was a big deal for all those involved in cruise tourism. And there was a video going around where taxi operators were protesting in relation to unfair treatment of the dispatch system. But we have a call and we're going to take this call. Caller, you're live on Insight. Oop, lost that caller. Call back. Caller, you're live on Insight. We're having some phone difficulties. Good afternoon, caller. You're live on Inside the News.
Yeah, man. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Yeah, but real quickly, I wanted to ask you, why not take the calls when the Carnival chairperson was there, so the dialogue can be more effective, and callers that would have questions or suggestions will be able to make that while she was present there.
Well, I apologize for that, caller. The interview was just between Shannon and I, so it wasn't open to the callers.
All right, okay, I got you, man. I got you. Anyway, I wanted to make like a suggestion because I heard a caller on another talk show. He was talking about entertainment down at Port Zante inside the bubble. So I wanted to ask the chair lady if they can. I don't know if they considered this before or not. But I wanted to suggest that while they had the bubble there at Port Zante for the tourist cruise ships and stuff, would the Carnival Committee consider putting on like entertainment there at the port? Whether they erect a stage there during the Carnival period while the ships are coming in every day, just to showcase the talent and to market Carnival to the tourists. I just wanted to make that suggestion. Like, for instance, like the individual troops, as they get themselves prepared and they're ready to go for Carnival, can they put on performances inside the bubble at the port to showcase their talent and also to use it mainly as a marketing tool to market the culture and the arts and the Carnival on the whole for throughout the world. The tourists can just come in and they can at least take this experience back to where they come from, and it'll be like a marketing tool.
Well, I know
That's my
that.
country.
I know that in some instances, like the folklore troops, some of the folklore troops, they like the masquerades, macajambis, drummers and stuff, they do perform at the cruise at the at Port Zante when the cruise passengers come off.
Okay, that's a great thing. And also, right, the number of registered persons. I think she mentioned like so much amount of people are registered for like the different events or whatever. Now that they have this rule that the participants, especially for the Calypsonians, they can't participate without being vaccinated. Do they anticipate that this number of participants will fell off? Was that an accurate number of registration persons, or is that number going to still hold, or do they anticipate now that number is going to fell off now? I listened off the year, man, but those are the contributions I had to make.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. Concerning the participants, I think the number she gave for, I think it was Soca Monarch, was some 30 participants for Power and Groovy. And I think, bearing in mind, part of the conversation we were having was some Calypsonians not being able to participate tonight because they're not vaccinated. I think for the Soca and the numbers, I think she said 13 Calypsonians are performing tonight. They are allowed to participate based on their vaccination status as part of the protocols. But who knows? Maybe the numbers might change, but that's left to be seen when the Soca Monarch eliminations commence. I think they're supposed to start from is it the 4th to the 5th? Shannon mentioned it's supposed to be a 2-day eliminations because of the amount of participants that registered for the Soca Monarch competition. But thank you very much, caller, for your contributions, and I'm sure Shannon is listening, and she may take your suggestions into consideration. Like I said, the phone lines are open. The numbers to call, 466-0989, 662-0989, and 762-0989, so you can weigh in on the conversation. We're just about a quarter to the hour of 1, and we're going to take a short break to take a word from our sponsors.
People make the world go
Not 5, not 10, but up to $20,000 off a new Toyota Hiace. Choose your Toyota Hiace model, choose your financial institution, and save up to $20,000. Roll out reliable, fresh, and in style with free licensing, registration, and tinting. It's a bus bonanza with up to $20,000 off. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
And welcome back to Inside the News here on WINNFM 98.9. I'm your host, Kevon Brown, for this afternoon. Just want to take a minute to thank our sponsors, TDC and Cara Brewery, for sponsoring and supporting Inside the News here on WINNFM. The phone lines are open. Numbers to call 466-0989, 762-0989, and 662-0989 to weigh in on the conversation I was having earlier, or any other topic that is on your mind concerning any news or anything that was hot on the lips of people during the week. Just before the break, I was about to speak about the video that was circulating about the taxi operators complaining about the unfair treatment, or that they said that they have been experiencing as it relates to the dispatching of taxi operators during the restart of the cruise season. Good afternoon, caller. You're live on Inside the News. We lost that caller. Caller, please, you can call back. I apologize. But yes, the taxi and tour operators, they were alleging unfair treatment as it relates to the dispatching of taxi and tour operators were availability throughout the restart of the cruise tourism restart. And the video was very much circulating. It happened on Wednesday. That was the day when we had 3 ships. That was the first time we had 3 ships since last year, which was a big deal for cruise tourism here in the Federation. Also, cruise tourism restarted on Nevis as well. They had several calls this week themselves. But during the press conference, the Honorable Lindsey Grant, he mentioned that a meeting was held between stakeholders of the tourism sector, taxi associations, taxi presidents, independent tour operators, etc., members from the task force and the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, to hear the concerns of the taxi drivers and to figure out a way to move forward. And I think they're supposed to have a meeting again on Monday to continue the discussions and quite possibly find some resolution in that regard. I think one of the issues was that the St. Kitts Tourism Authority is in charge of dispatching the taxi and tour operators, and they are alleging that there was unfair treatment. However, that was a previous complaint that was made, that the taxi presidents and the taxi association wasn't fairly dispatching their operations. They were favoring others. So now there is a move to go back to the taxi associations or the taxi presidents in charge of the dispatch. And I think that is one of the discussions that's supposed to be had going forward on Monday. Also during the week, as many of you may have known, Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris was in Dubai because Expo 2020 Dubai is happening, and it's a whole cultural exchange situation where countries from all over the world are featured in this expo, and the culture is marketed. Their food, culture, traditions, arts, music, all of that is showcased. And St. Kitts' National Day at the Expo was on Tuesday, the 16th. And the Prime Minister gave an address to commemorate the day. And it featured some folklore, a masquerade band, and a string band that performed during that presentation. That's a section of our folklore troupe that obviously is vaccinated, because they had to travel all the way to Dubai to represent our country, along with the various artists. I think Deli Ranks out in Nevis, he is also one of the artists that went to Dubai to represent St. Kitts and Nevis. So those were three of the hot topics. We talk about the hottest one during the first hour, which was the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival, Sugar Mass 50, and the release of the in-person protocols to move forward for in-person events, the big events, the Queen shows, the Soca Monarch, Bubble Juve, so that the St. Kitts Carnival Committee knows what to do moving forward. Regionally, this is some news that I just got myself. Apparently, according to the Pan American Health Organization, Caribbean countries around the region had to get rid of some, I think it's 62,000 doses of vaccine around the region because of vaccine hesitancy. The health officials in Barbados, I think it was highlighted in Barbados Today, where they mentioned the 62,000 doses had to be discarded because of vaccine hesitancy. Also, that news also shared that the benchmark, because I know that the health officials were talking about we passed the benchmark, which was 40% from the World Health Organization, passing the benchmark of 40% coverage for the entire population. And now that benchmark has been pushed even further, I guess, in light of some or most countries reaching a certain level of coverage within their populations. So now the new benchmark, which was also announced, is 70%. So now they're aiming for countries to have 70% of their entire population to be vaccinated, I guess, moving forward with this herd immunity concept in the fight against COVID-19 and the pandemic. That's a hard benchmark, in my opinion, to aim for, considering vaccine waste, vaccine hoarding, and people genuinely have concerns about taking the vaccines, period. I understand that one of the tools, because it's not the only tool, but one of the tools to help combat this pandemic is the vaccines, along with the non-pharmaceutical means, social distancing, masks, sanitizing, staying away from crowds. But that's a high benchmark, and I think they said they want to reach that by June of next year, 2022. So that's just over 7 months away. And I wish us success. I wish us success because everybody wants a return to normalcy, but I don't think we're going to get to a return to normalcy. I think we'll just have to aim for a post-COVID world instead of looking back at what it was. We need to figure out how to move forward, how things are going to look after COVID. Well, maybe not after COVID, but because health officials have been saying that there's a possibility it might become endemic. Boosters are very much now a thing, so it might become synonymous with getting the flu shot every year. So that's a possibility as the virus continues to move through society, etc. So it might become an endemic situation in that regard. But I do feel that that's a hard ask, especially with countries crying out about vaccine equity and certain countries hoarding. People are holding out for the pills. I think there are 2 pills that are out on the market waiting for approval, one from Pfizer and one from Merck's. Some people are holding out for those pills because they would prefer that way, where they take a course to get rid of the virus or to kill the virus, or as a preventative measure instead of the vaccine. So maybe that is what people are holding out for, what they're hoping for. We are just about 2 minutes to the 1 o'clock hour here on Inside the News. We're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors, TDC and Caribbery, and we'll be right back.
People make the world go
for Dad's birthday? Click. Ooh, Janice's retirement party? Click. Outfit for my girl's wedding? Click.
With TDC Airbox, you click, we ship. Register for your free U.S. mailbox today and shop all your favorite stores online. Enjoy the convenience. Free consolidation up to £10. Competitive rates. Free package tracking account with live notifications. Free delivery and, of course, excellent customer service. Visit our website at tdcairbox.com and register today. For more information, visit our offices at the C.A. Paul Industrial Site in St. Kitts and Penny's Industrial Site in Nevis. Follow us on social media at TDC Airbox. TDC Airbox. You click, we ship. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
And we're back with Inside the News here on WINNFM 98.9. I'm your host this afternoon, Kevon Brown. And we were talking about some of the hottest things being talked about on the lips of people here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We started with a conversation with Shannon Hawley for the first hour, talking all things carnival. Considering tonight is the first open live event on the calendar, one of the tents, night 2 of the St. Kitts and Nevis Anguilla National Bank Senior Calypso Series, where 13 Calypsonians are set to perform this evening. And Holly was very vehement in having or encouraging the listening audience to go out and support in person our Calypsonians, so they can feed off of the energy of a live audience. Similar to what they had last year. They had a limited live audience for some of the tents last year. But this year, the hope is to make things even bigger and better while maintaining safety. Just before the break, I was talking about some vaccines that had to be destroyed or thrown away because they were not used in time. So they met their expiration date, and 62,000 vaccine doses had to be discarded throughout the region. It's kind of unfortunate. And it seems that because of vaccination or vaccine mandates, there was a protest, I think it was yesterday, the 19th in Guadeloupe. They were protesting, or the protests turned violent against the vaccine mandates, and we're going to hear a little bit from Carib Updates on that.
The general strike against the coronavirus vaccine mandate and health pass in Guadeloupe turned violent on Friday as buildings were destroyed by fire in the island's largest city, Pointe-à-Pitre. The fire service said 4 of 6 buildings were completely destroyed by the early morning fire that was set by youths who attempted to loot businesses. Several streets across Guadeloupe are currently blocked, causing traffic backlogs across the French overseas territory. At the Pointe-à-Pitre University Hospital, protesters prevented medical staff from accessing the facility that is already under immense pressure since unvaccinated staff were taken out of rotation. Guadeloupe is one of the islands in the region hardest hit by COVID-19. It has recorded 54,854 cases and 822 deaths since March 2020. As of 12 November 2021, a total of 262,280 vaccine doses have been administered in the territory. In a related development, France announced late on Friday that it will send 200 police officers to Guadeloupe to quell violence associated with anti-vaccine protests on the island. The development was announced in a joint statement from French Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin and Overseas Minister Sébastien Lecornu. Both ministers have strongly condemned the violence that has taken place in the last few hours in Guadeloupe in their statement. Protesters are demanding that the government remove a requirement for persons to be vaccinated to work or access some services. Over 113,000 persons, or over 36% of the eligible population, is vaccinated against coronavirus.
And we're back with Inside the News here on WINNFM 98.9. Caller, you're live on Inside the News. Good afternoon.
Greetings. Thanks for accepting our call.
You're welcome.
Give thanks for the information shared. Concerning the situation there in Guadeloupe, we see they continue to divide and rule we, and put me to fight against itself. And we strongly object to, because yes, sir, it would be a situation where it might be British troop. Because we independent, the ties them still there, you know. We strongly object to them, that decision there, with them French troops on the people, because the people them must know what they are dealing with in them, you know. When the kitchen feel the heat, you know, and these plantations, yeah, where they scatter, whether it is English, French, Spanish, etc., you know. The oppression continues, and this global pandemic thing just I bring it out, you know. The decisions. The lady said that my credit soon, but let me go on talk. The decision that these authorities are making, it don't have to be right within the scheme of things, and them to really watch how them dealing with the people. Everything starts on day 10, you know. Once again, give thanks for the information shared, and we wish everyone in all of the Caribbean our borders, we wish everyone all the best, especially the masses of the people. Blessed love.
All right. Thank you very much, caller, for your contribution to our show here on Inside the News, here on WINNFM 98.9. Just before we return, we're going to take a word from our sponsors, TDC and Cara Brewery.
Hello?
Jean, you know every time I call you, it's always about something good.
What going on?
Well, the TDC retail stores in St. Kitts and Nevis are at it again. Their new stocks have arrived.
Really?
Yes, new furniture, printers, toys, appliances, electronics, housewares, even decorations, and so much more. New is in.
So, girl Betty, when we going?
You know me, I don't miss a beat when it comes to TDC. I'm getting ready to go to TDC Automotive and the Home and Building Depot now. And next week, we're definitely going over to CDS Nevis to see what they have over there too.
Betty, me I'm here. Betty, you gone?
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects or sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Inside the News here on WINNFM 98.9. It's a beautiful Saturday here in St. Kitts and Nevis, on Saturday, November the 20th. we are making our way through this month and through the year of 2021. Just around the corner is Christmas, but we're going to take this call. Caller, you're live on Inside the News. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, host.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I was following the Antigua and Barbuda news recently, last 24 hours. It would appear that they had made the vaccination mandatory in regards to public servants.
Mm-hmm.
What I understand now is that teachers who are not working in their profession, they are now allowed to return to their teaching profession, and under the condition that they have these two tests, these two fast tests. I can't remember the word to describe it, but
right.
It's two of those tests on a monthly basis, and it would be paid for by the government of Antigua and Barbuda, which I believe is reasonable, Also, the students, it seems to me that students who were not vaccinated could not attend school now. Under the similar condition, they can have their tests and return to school. They had employed quite a number of substitute teachers. The question I ask now, when these teachers would have resumed their work, where would be some of these substitute teachers work? Well, they would have to find some. But I am glad that Antigua and Barbuda, the county, have come around to find some way to really have these teachers and other persons employed, resume their employment. Because I believe God, the all creators send the rain and the just and the unjust. Some of us really ain't deserve even the rain. But a loving, caring creator, nevertheless, send the rain so that we all can benefit equally. And so, why that I want to thank the creator for thus far sparing us, devastation of hurricane. We are all planning for Christmas with the carnival, but I am mindful that we could have been in a more serious situation had it we had an impact.
Don't talk too quickly, caller. We still have 10 days in November. Hello? I was telling you, don't talk too quickly because we still have 10 days in November.
Well, I know who I believe, and I believe in God that He's able to begin a good work, and He would complete it. I'm not talking too fast, I know. Don't get more than where we can be. So we've been suffering, and why people are really complaining, in which, well, they have a right to. But the situation could have been even worse had we suffered from a natural disaster. So to God be the glory. Great things they have done, let us trust Him. And look up. I want to extend sympathy to those persons who are bereaved, the loss of their family, quite a number of deaths in the midst of this. Quite a number. I haven't seen so many deaths in recent times. But nevertheless, let us be mindful that we have an appointment with them. And let us look forward and keep our eyes on our Creator. In such an hour as we think not, He would appear. Thank you very much, Mr. Host.
All right. Thank you very much, caller, for your contribution on Inside the News this afternoon. And based on what he was speaking of, as it relates to Antigua and them allowing teachers and students to return to class, those who can't be vaccinated for either medical or religious reasons, whatever the case may be, and them being tested on a regular basis, and the cost being footed by the government of Antigua and Barbuda. that is a good move from the government of Antigua and Barbuda, because it saves economically the brunt of the force, or the financial impact on teachers who've been out of work considerably because of vaccination mandates, and most importantly, it gets students who can't be vaccinated back in school and back on a more apt or a more regular schedule as it pertains to their education. We truly don't know the impact of all these breaks and these switches between virtual to in-person, back to virtual. We won't know the impact it truly has had on our youth until future assessments can be made. But I imagine it's significant. Because during all of the lockdowns and the shutdowns of school and the moving to virtual learning, I assume children went through a roller coaster of emotions, a roller coaster of experiences, because they might not have quite understood the gravity of the impact this situation has had on them. But as we rebuild, I hope that the education system throughout the region continues to not only recover, but come back better and stronger. Now, the last topic I wanted to touch on before we end the show was something that was being followed, I think, in the last week. This week for certain. It was in every single media report. The trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, and the jury returned their verdict yesterday, and the 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty or acquitted of all charges, one of the charges including murder. Yesterday he shot and killed, because he's been acquitted officially. He shot and killed 2 individuals last year in Wisconsin. His defense that he was protecting himself. He had a semi-automatic, I think it's a semi-automatic piece as a 17-year-old. That seems a bit, not even a bit. It seems very much excessive. But he shot and killed 2 individuals last year during a civil protest, and his defense was that he felt threatened and was defending himself. Now I have a little reaction here from some individuals who were voicing their opinions about the verdict and how they feel about it. We're going to hear a little bit from that.
I'm not so surprised, because in this city, my nephew was shot 7 times in the back and no charges were ever leveled. You have to understand, from day one, the judge had his hand on the scale. He didn't allow pictures. He didn't allow videotapes in. He didn't allow. He was doing everything he could to allow this young man to leave this courtroom clear and free.
I was very pleased. It's just. That's what makes me want to be an American, is to get just verdicts from jurors. I mean, there's a lot of problems in this country, but apparently at least the court is not currently one of them. The court can see straight, even if all you media fail, and if all these people talk very loud with aggressive tones. The court did not fail today.
I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. I'm sad. I'm sad. This is going to mean a lot more people are going to get hurt by people who think they can just arm themselves and just start shooting.
I was very pleased with the verdict. I think that the jury was very courageous, and they obviously were very diligent and very considered in taking this much time to reach the verdict. I've been saying all week, obviously they could hear the protests and the threats from the courthouse steps, and it must have been a very burdensome task for them to weigh the fate of this one young man against the fate of the community, with all the threats that have been being made by the protesters.
I wasn't shocked.
I wasn't surprised at all. I expected the unexpected, you know. The judge set the tone days ago. You know, he actually bullied the jurors, so I wasn't shocked at all.
That was some reaction outside the courthouse yesterday when the verdict was returned on that Kyle Rittenhouse trial, where he was acquitted of all his charges, one including murder. And another one of the arguments that was being talked about and discussed in various media houses, in various pieces, in social dialogue, on social media, was if Kyle was a 17-year-old black boy instead of a white boy, the verdict would have been completely different. If it was an armed black boy who defended himself during civil unrest last year, where he said that he was doing his civic duty and providing security during the protests, the argument is that if he was a black boy, he would not have been acquitted of all charges. He would have definitely been charged for murder. That is another one of the prevailing opinions being shared on social media. So that's the last of the hot topics that have been on the lips and the mouths of people, not just in Federation or the region, but around the world. This was Inside the News here on WINNFM 98.9. I was your host, Kevon Brown, and stay tuned for more programming later today. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your weekend.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Enjoy the convenience of getting all your documents in one place at the TD